is born in North Korea, but the moment he opens his eyes, the innocent baby is already declared a traitor. North Korea is known for having some of the strictest laws in the world, and some are so bizarre, it's hard to believe they're real. Here's what that looks like. There are elections, but no real choice. You can only vote for one person, and if you don't, you're thrown in jail. There's only one TV channel, and you can't change it. Literally, no remote. In fact, North Korea might be the only country on Earth where you can be imprisoned not for committing a crime, but just for thinking about one. Welcome back to another video from Zim Voice. Let's rewind. Until 1945, Japan ruled all of Korea for 35 years. But after World War II, the peninsula was split in two, North Korea and South Korea. The North came under Soviet influence, the South under American. In 1948, Kim Il-sung was installed as the leader of North Korea. It was officially named the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. But let's be real, there was never any democracy here. In 1950, war broke out between the North and South, what we now call the Korean War. The fighting eventually stopped, but no peace treaty was ever signed. Technically, both countries are still at war. Since then, power in North Korea has stayed within one family. First Kim Il-sung, then his son Kim Jong-il, and now his grandson Kim Jong-un. To stay in power, each of them tighten laws further, using fear and punishment to crush any hint of rebellion or outside influence, especially from South Korea or the West. Today, we're diving into some of the strangest laws in North Korea. Let's begin. In 2024, North Korea banned sunglasses and certain wedding dresses. In metro stations and public places, you don't hear music, you hear speeches by the Kim family. And during those, nobody's allowed to talk or make any noise. If you're caught watching South Korean dramas or Hollywood movies, you can end up in a labor camp. Or worse. The government calls this ideological contamination, and they use that as an excuse to block outside influence. The internet doesn't exist for regular people. There's only a national intranet, a closed network that only works inside North Korea. And even that is tightly monitored. What you read, what you watch, what you say, everything is under surveillance. Calling someone outside the country without permission? Illegal. All TVs, radios, and newspapers are controlled by the state. Independent media is unthinkable, and the only thing the media shows is praise for the government, glorification of the Kim dynasty, and hatred for enemies like the US. From childhood, citizens are taught to hate America and its allies. Even haircuts are government approved. You can only choose from a few state-sanctioned styles. Anything resembling Western culture, like jeans, dyed hair, or flashy clothing, is banned. Offenders can lose their property or face harsh punishment. Even food isn't free from control. American-style hot dogs, banned. South Korean dishes like bulgogi or tteokbokki, also banned. Traveling from one city to another requires a permit. Without it, it's illegal. Passports are only for the elite, government officials or Kim Jong-un's inner circle. Ordinary citizens can't even dream of leaving. So, homes, land, businesses, none of it belongs to individuals. Everything is owned by the state. You can live there or use it, but only if the government allows it. Religious practice, also illegal. Yes, there are churches, but they exist only for show. Anyone caught practicing a religion is sent to a labor camp. Speak out against the government or the Kim family. You're not the only one punished. Your whole family can be imprisoned. And that punishment can go on for 3 generations. If someone is declared a traitor, even their grandchildren will carry that label. Every neighborhood has government spies watching people. And the strangest part, even if you think about committing a crime, if someone reports your thoughts, you can be arrested. From birth to death, people go through weekly self-criticism sessions. In front of a group, you must admit your faults. Maybe you didn't praise Kim Jong-un enough. Maybe you admired a foreign product. Then others criticize you, and you beg for forgiveness. Voting is mandatory. But you can only vote for one candidate, the one chosen by the government. Don't show up to vote? You're a traitor. So why even hold elections? They're not about choice. They're a loyalty test. When 100% of people vote for one person, it becomes proof of obedience. Yes, there's a National Assembly called the Supreme People's Assembly, but it doesn't make decisions. It just approves whatever Kim Jong-un already decided. Every citizen must memorize the 10 ideological principles. Get even one word wrong, and you're a traitor. Each of those 10 points glorifies Kim Il-sung. All TVs are locked to the state-run Korean Central Television. Imported TVs have their NTSC tuners disabled so they can't pick up foreign signals. 2. Even bicycles need a registration plate and license. And to ride one, you must pass a road safety test. Clothes with foreign logos, slogans, or flags, banned. North Korea wants to erase every trace of outside culture and build a totally North Korean identity. Tired? Even tourists face strict rules. You can't walk around freely. A government guide is always with you. You can't talk to locals, take photos freely, or ask questions without permission. Yes, you can own a phone or computer, but USB drives and phone memory are regularly checked. If they find foreign content, you're in trouble. Then there's Songbun, a cruel class system. A baby's fate is decided the day they're born, based on their family's political background. There are 3 classes. 1. Core class, families who supported Kim Il-sung's revolution or served in the military. They get the best jobs, homes in Pyongyang, and even cars. 2. Wavering class, ordinary citizens, farmers, or laborers. Their ancestors weren't enemies of the state, but not heroes either. They lived modest lives. 3. Hostile class, families with religious ties or links to South Korea. They're seen as traitors and are given the worst jobs, mining, cleaning, and hard labor. Utilities, like electricity, gas, and water, are rationed. Consumption is strictly monitored. At age 17, all citizens, men and women, must serve at least 10 years in the military. When a Kim family member dies, or on their death anniversaries, crying in public is mandatory. If you don't, your loyalty is questioned. Every home must display portraits of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, and keep them spotless. Schools make kids memorize their speeches by heart. North Korea is so cut off that even its calendar is different. They use the Juche calendar, which starts from 1912, the birth year of Kim Il-sung. So while it's 2025 for us, it's 113 there. Why is North Korea so isolated? Dumb. 1. The regime fears that if people find out how the outside world lives, they'll rise up. So everything is banned. Media, travel, internet. 2. International sanctions over its nuclear program have pushed it further into isolation. And keep in mind, some of these rules may have changed. Others might be even worse now. The truth is, no one knows for sure. Most of what we know comes from people who escaped the country after 1953. Some smuggled video footage out through USB drives. using Chinese networks or satellites. That's it for today's Zim Voice video. If you learned something new, give it a like and share it with others. Thanks for all your kind comments and support.